So God took advantage of symbols. God took advantage of things to demonstrate the prophetic to these people. Why God related with these people like that was because of this reason. At that time, these people were just coming out of idolatry. At that time, these people took advantage of many things like astrology, took advantage of demonic um, powers, took advantage of demonic influences to manipulate things on the earth. So one of the ways by which these people were going to believe the gospel by that time, and they were going to believe in the wonder working power of God, was that they were to see something that looked similar like this operation too. These people were to also see something like symbols. At that time we had the ministry of the magicians. We had people can use divination to manipulate anything from the spiritual realm in the physical realm. So one of the ways people would come out of that bondage was that they were going to see something that looked similar in their operation too, and they were going to believe that there is a greater power. So God had to start manifesting gradually to these people through symbols, through signs, through materials. So this is where you see it was in this movement that mountains, prayer mountains was established. People believed that, okay, there is a place where we can go to worship God, and we believe that God would answer us. At that time, God also used signs like waters. You can use the water to pray for healing. You can use the water to pray for somebody and the person will be healed. You can use the water to raise a dead child. So God used some of these symbols. God used some of these prophetic instructions. So God used some of these prophetic expressions to speak to the people. So this was a product of the prophetic at that time, and it has not still changed till now. It has not ended till now. One thing every prophetic ministry, one thing everybody operating in the prophetic ministry must agree on is that there are ways by which God communicates to his people. Nobody is an highlander of knowledge when it comes to the prophetic ministry, and nobody knows it all. Nobody is the father of the prophetic. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know there are many deceptions on social media. This person says, or this one says, people say I'm the father of the prophetic, I'm the major of the prophetic. Nobody is a major of the prophetic. Nobody is the father of the prophetic. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nobody is major 5, major 10, major 20, major 100 of the prophetic ministry. Everybody is just a byproduct of what they are witnessing in God and what they are expressing in God. So we must come to an understanding of this fact. But one thing we must not eradicate from the equation is that what does not reveal Christ is not the prophetic. I established this. I established this in the previous series that I did, that if it does not reveal Christ, it is not the prophetic. If it does not point to Christ, it is not the prophetic. If it does not witness Christ, it is not the prophetic, because we must not hide under, oh, this is how God communicated this to me. You see, people have the idea of one thing you must understand is that in the spirit realm, many informations you get from the spirit realm can be manipulated. You see people say, I'm going into the 4th heavens, going into the 5th heavens. Let's not try to make this thing complex. Let's not try to overly spiritualize this thing, and then we begin to dabble into spiritism. We begin to take advantage of mysticism and philosophy and psychology. People take advantage of mysticism, philosophy, and psychology to prophesy, to give prophetic word. All of these things are not from God. Prophecy reveals the mind of God, and prophecy has a witness into it. It's not that someone just comes up from nowhere. Someone comes up from nowhere and then says, this is what God says we should do, and then we don't have a witness into what you are saying. And everything shows that this thing is diabolical. Everything shows that this thing is not from God. We must learn to separate the prophetic from diabolical practices. There are some that we know, obviously, that are diabolical. And there are some that present themselves as Jesus, and we know that this thing is diabolical. That is why you have the Holy Spirit inside of you that guides you, that teach you, and witness to you personally. Please don't always believe everything the prophet tells you if it does not bear witness with your spirit. The prophetic does not manipulate. The prophetic does not take advantage of astrology to manipulate people. Do you understand now? So don't allow people manipulate you to believing that whatever I ask you to do is what you should do. Have a personal witnessing of what the Holy Spirit is communicating to you. So one thing I've mentioned is culture. Culture defines how people perceive the prophetic ministry. And like I said, nobody's an highlander of knowledge in the prophetic ministry. So it may not be how God communicated this to you. God may communicate it differently. It does not mean the way God communicated this to someone else is diabolical.